Hello everyone, this is Weston's Willie Wise with another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a case study over the May 6, 2024 tornado outbreak. Starting off with the Day 6 severe outlook on May 1st, SPC highlighted a large 15% risk of severe weather. Everyone knew that the ingredients would be in play for a big severe weather outbreak, but no one knew exactly where yet. If we continue on to the Day 5 outlook, you can tell it grew a little bit in size, moved a bit more to the north, along with a bit more to the east, but still, there was still a ton of uncertainty of where the biggest severe weather threat would be. Once we got to the Day 4 outlook, SPC highlighted a 30% severe risk with a large 15% area. The greatest severe storm setup was looking to be in Kansas, southern Nebraska, and north central Oklahoma, but that would soon change. On the Day 3 outlook, they decided to go with a very, very large enhanced risk, anywhere from Tulsa, from furthest east, all the way up to around Woodward, Oklahoma. And that extended all the way down to the Red River, all the way up to portions of southern Nebraska. Once we got to the Day 2 outlook, they decided to put a moderate risk in play for severe weather across portions of south central Kansas and central Oklahoma. This was looking to be a very big severe weather event. On the Day 1 outlook, the SPC decided to go high risk of severe weather in central Oklahoma and southern Kansas, with a large moderate risk in portions of eastern Kansas, central Kansas, along with portions of northeast Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, and southern Oklahoma. This was going to be a terrible day. If we head over to the radar, if we move it forward, you could tell on May 6th we had convection, early morning convection, across portions of Oklahoma and Kansas, which we would have thought with limited storm coverage, but that soon died out very fast, led to this huge outbreak. We had storms fire in eastern Colorado as early as 7:40 a.m. and start marching their way eastward. This was going to be a very long day. Once we got to around 10, I believe it was around 11 a.m., yes. At 11 a.m., the National Weather Service in Wichita issued the first severe thunderstorm warning of the day. This was the start of what was to come. This soon grew to a large supercell before we got at, this was a mesoscale discussion that was put out across at 10:50, so at 11 a.m. They issued a mesoscale discussion for storms initially expected to develop over Kansas and southeast Nebraska. There's a 95% chance of a tornado watch. Here at 11:07, they decided to issue one for South Dakota, portions of Montana, Nebraska, Wyoming, and Nebraska. This would be for storms to intensify through the mid-afternoon. Trends would have to be monitored for a watch. Now, if we move it forward, what did I just do? Sorry about that, everyone. I'm going to have to play this through to get back to where we were. Alright, so we're about where we were. So at 11 a.m., they decided to issue that MD. But as soon as 11:30 a.m., 11:40 a.m., they issued the first tornado watch of the day. This had a high risk of tornadoes, moderate risk of EF2, moderate risk of severe wind, low 65 knot plus winds, 60% hail, and moderate for severe hail, and 2-inch plus hail. We had a 70 tornado, 30 EF2. But if we soon move forward, we would soon, just 7 minutes later, get a mesoscale discussion for Oklahoma, portions of Oklahoma. And this was not a mesoscale discussion that you want to see. It was a PDS tornado watch will be issued during the early afternoon. A rare PDS tornado watch would be issued. If we continued to move this forward, you would see, once we got here into the early afternoon hours, we had a ton of storms. Fire, in which after we got that one watch, we soon saw the PDS watch be issued across portions of Oklahoma and Kansas. This was a 95-90 tornado watch. This was going to be a huge day. So they decided at 2 p.m. to issue a tornado watch for most of central and northeast Oklahoma. We then saw supercells start to initiate along the dry line in Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle, and those grew very quickly. In a matter of an hour, they became severe warned, and we soon had our first tornado warning of the day. At 3:50 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the National Weather Service in Wichita issued a tornado warning for central Kansas. But that would continue, luckily to not produce a tornado. But just about 45 minutes later, the National Weather Service in Norman issued their first tornado warning of the day. This would be for a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, which luckily never did. But then, just to its south, we got yet again another tornado warning, as that was something that yet again would be capable of producing a tornado. But as we continued, that storm luckily never ended up producing a tornado, but it was a very long tracked storm before we got a new tornado warning to the south. And it was looking likely that we were very soon going to see a lot of tornadoes. But as of 7:20, we finally saw some storms start to die out in Oklahoma before we got these prefrontal supercells in Oklahoma. And that is something that they had worried about. Tornado warnings were coming left and right until there was this quiet period. And then it happened. We had one tornado warning issued in northern Osage County along the Oklahoma-Kansas border. We then saw a severe thunderstorm warning get issued for portions of Osage and Tulsa County that would soon turn devastating. At 9 p.m., the National Weather Service in Tulsa decided to issue a tornado warning for Barnsdall, Oklahoma. That storm further intensified, and at 9:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the National Weather Service in Tulsa issued a PDS tornado warning for Barnsdall. but that would not last for long. 10 minutes later, at 9:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the National Weather Service in Tulsa issued a tornado emergency for Barnsdall, Oklahoma, and Bartlesville, Oklahoma. The tornado would then be hit by the line of storms and would further allow it to die out, but it still caused catastrophic damage to the town of Barnsdall, Oklahoma. We then saw more tornado warnings, but luckily there were not as many tornadoes out of that, and nevertheless any big tornadoes out of it. Now, if we go and look at damage, you can see there's still damage from this tornado. As here's a picture of it. You can see there's the cone, or wedge I should say, not cone. Here's a image of it on radar. This was the tornado emergency. This was the first one ever issued by the National Weather Service in Tulsa. But still, it was a very sad sight. As sadly, this happens every year. We see big tornadoes. All we can do is pray. Here is a news station showing the estimated path all the way from around Hominy, Oklahoma, all the way up through Bartlesville. Hope you guys enjoyed today's case study. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.